I understand that my cold temperature part got cut off from the last video, and I did not mean for that to happen. So we talked about what happens when your body's too hot, when it's too cold, the normal body temperature is too low. Your body, your receptors are going to pick that up. My body is cold. Thermoreceptors are going to send signals to your brain. Your brain, the hypothalamus in your brain, is going to say that it's too cold, and it's going to send messages again to your blood vessels. This time, instead of swelling, the blood vessels are going to shrink or constrict, and when they shrink, they conserve heat. It takes the blood vessels closer into the body and further away from the skin, and that would be the reason that when people are extremely cold, their fingers will actually turn like a bluish color, because those blood vessels have shrunk up so much that it doesn't give much coloring to the skin. So one reaction is that your blood vessels will shrink. Second reaction is that it's going to send messages to your muscles. Two things happen there. One, small little muscles that surround your hair cells are going to start to constrict, and that is going to cause, one, your hair to stand up, and two, those tiny muscles will actually produce heat. And that's what's called goosebumps. So when you have goosebumps on your skin, those little bumps are actually little muscles that are producing heat to try and warm you up. Extreme cases of cold, it might generate, to generate more heat, it's going to stimulate larger muscles, and that's when your body actually starts to shiver and larger muscles try to produce heat. Once you put on your jacket, you come inside, your body starts to go back to the normal temperature, back to homeostasis, then your body is back at normal, and it's going to quit sending signals for those things to happen. And then the last step that I want to talk about, we talked about negative feedback. Positive feedback is not very common in your body. The most common one would be birth or labor. Negative feedback, my body is cold, so I try to get warm. I go the opposite direction. That's where the negative term comes in. Positive feedback, my blood begins to clot, so a few blood cells will clot. Pretty soon I have more and more of the same thing happening. I have more blood cells clotting. Birth is the other example of that. When a woman goes into labor, her uterus starts to contract. That's not normal for the body. So what usually happens is your body tries to make those things stop. Well, in positive feedback, when a woman goes into labor and those contractions start, instead of trying to make them stop, they continue, they grow stronger, and it is just more of the same thing happening. So negative feedback, I get hot, my body cools me down. Positive feedback, my blood starts to clot, it continues to clot more. So those are a couple examples of the positive feedback mechanisms. And that should conclude what I had for today. And next time we'll talk about organization of the body, and we'll take off there.